Cuba, it's me. Welcome to episode 254 of The Willow Show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now, before I became a wrestler myself, I used to think, hey man, those moves, I could do those. They look so easy on TV. And none of them are really easy, but some are definitely easier than others. There is quite a degree of difficulty in making something look like it really hurts, although half of the time it does, so it's not that hard, without actually severely injuring somebody. Now, there's a lot of basic moves that are on the easier side of the spectrum, but the degree of difficulty in some of the moves that people really do not appreciate until they get in the wrestling business themselves and train. So I made like a top 10 of list of moves that are extremely hard. The timing has to be perfect. Two people have to come together to make it happen with nobody getting hurt. Just moves that I think that maybe don't get the what they deserve as far as degree of difficulty, and some that everybody knows. The first one is a delayed standing suplex. Okay, so you're gonna pick a guy up like this and hold him there above your head, like gravity is working against you. It's a two-man show on that. Like the other guy has got to keep perfectly straight and not move the little wobble this way, and you got to be extremely strong. I can't do a delayed suplex. I've been in some. My legs are not perfectly straight, so they don't look that great. But it is really hard to do a delayed suplex for like 3 seconds. Let alone you see guys doing it for like 10, 20, 30 seconds sometimes. Impressive. The next one, sticking with the suplexes. Okay, grabbing a guy and throwing him in a suplex, it's not super hard. I mean, it's hard to throw him in a suplex, any kind of suplex, without seriously injuring himself, but it's not quite as difficult as the superplex. Any kind of move where you're grabbing a guy and you're both standing on the ropes and having the timing and the balance, like one guy's standing like this, the other guy's standing like this, and you're gonna grab them and flip them off, and someone's not gonna get seriously injured. But it's a pretty common move, and it's actually been done. I haven't seen a lot of times where people have got hurt on it, but a superplex is really tricky and hard to pull off. I would like to see someone do that hasn't been trained. I don't actually want to see that because someone would get seriously hurt. The next is a power bomb. Yeah, okay. You grab someone by the gut, flip them up, and slam them down. Seems easy enough, right? Have you ever tried to pick up someone like that is fighting it or trying not to be picked up? It is not easy. And then, if they are going with it and they flip their momentum upwards, to throw them down onto their back and making sure it's not on their head and actually getting them up, like a power bomb like this, it doesn't look so great. So getting a guy way up there and then slamming him down without smashing his head off, a power bomb is tricky. People can get really hurt from a power bomb. The next one I put any move where you're jumping off the top, even just jumping and landing on a guy. A knee drop, a leg drop, an elbow drop, a splash, a moonsault, but especially off the top. Jumping on someone, especially with some height behind it, landing on them, making it look impressive and not actually hurting them severely is not easy, and it takes a lot of practice. Because in order to not hurt them, you have to basically hurt yourself. Someone's going to get the worst of it. So to find that middle ground where you're both just getting a little bit it's really tricky, and any kind of move where you're landing on someone can go wrong for sure. The next one may surprise a lot of people, a punch. Do you realize how difficult it is to throw a punch, make it look like it hurts somebody, doesn't actually hurt them, and doesn't break their teeth or nose or anything? Now, it's hard with the rules nowadays. They used to say back in the day, no closed fists. Okay, and you never see people very often just punching a guy straight in the mouth or the teeth. So they should, or the nose or whatever. They should clarify this. Is it no strikes to the face? Because you see people hitting in the head, and that's okay on the 10 punch, right? or like right here. So it's like, and you're not supposed to have a closed fist. I find some of the best workers in the history of the business are the ones that have mastered a good punch. You can have almost a whole match based on just punching or kicking. So, and not, like it can be very believable. Someone that has a really good punch can go a long way. The next one is a tilt-a-whirl. Tilt-a-whirl of any kind. You could be tilt-a-whirl the guy into a backbreaker or any other kind of move or a side slam, or where he tilts a whirls and then gets it into a head scissors. It's not exactly easy having a guy running at you and then you gotta pick him up and spin him and then either make him fall or have him make you fall, knowing which way to turn him and which way he's gonna turn. And it's tricky, and like, you don't have a lot of time. You gotta spin him before the gravity is pulling him down. Any kind of tilt-a-whirl move is extremely impressive in my books, and it's not easy. Okay, next is Hurricane Rana, Frankenstein, or whatever you want to call it. Many people do this, or any of the moves on here. They're all really general moves that you see quite often in any show that you go to. You're going to see most of these moves. But people make it look easy because they're pros. But when you flip up somehow, it could be out of a reversal or just jumping at a guy or however you want to do it, and wrap your legs around their head, and then you basically do like a kind of like a backflip or a back roll and flip them over with your legs. I've seen so many guys land on their own head doing the move, and I've seen so many guys land on their head taking the move. The timing in this, it's so important. It can go wrong in an instant, and there's a lot of them that have looked really crappy. So when they do look good, I think people forget that wrestling, like, they make the moves look so good most of the time, so then when they do screw up, it's a big deal, it's botchamania, it's you effed up, but it's like, man, when they do it just fine, it's not a big deal, but it really is, because it's not easy to do these wrestling moves. The next one I'm going to have to say gorilla press, kind of like the delayed suplex. One, you have to be really strong, and the timing has to be perfect, unless you're like insanely strong and the guy is not very big. But to get a guy up and lift him over your head, sometimes to do the actual press and have him putting his hands here, like, it's not easy to do the balance. And then after that, he's got to come down and you got to place him or have him, some people flip, some just drop. Warrior used to hurt a lot of people with this move, but to do this without hurting someone, it's impressive to me. I enjoy it. The next one is that I put is the Tombstone. Now remember, these are just my opinions. I'm not right, I'm not wrong. I just like doing this show talking about wrestling. Now, a normal pile driver, I didn't include it because it's a lot easier. You could just sit down. You don't have to jump or do anything. It's still dangerous. I'm not saying that, but I just feel that Tombstone is way more dangerous because you have to go down forward. You don't have your butt like bracing both of you. It's his head coming close to hitting the mat, and this could go wrong. Insane. Look at the inverted one Stone Cold got from Owen and stuff like that. Someone was ranting on one of my episodes about inverted pile drivers, so maybe I should just say inverted pile drivers. I feel the normal pile driver is like maybe a 6 on the degree of difficulty, where others are a 10. My last one, I believe that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. So a normal clothesline, wow, it's one of the most basic moves. You almost see it in every match. You take your arm out and you hit the guy hard in the chest, or hopefully not in the throat, and you knock him down. Okay, people could do that. That makes sense. A good one, by the way, is hard to do. But, okay, a basic clothesline, it's basic. But to clothesline someone over the top rope, that takes a lot of getting used to. You see this move screwed up quite often too, where the guy just doesn't get over or whatever happens. So the guy's standing at the ropes, and the ropes are usually like, I don't know, like 4.5 to 5 feet tall maybe. To me, they're usually up around here on me, and I'm like 5'11". So okay, maybe 4 feet. I'm not quite sure. So you're standing there, and you got this much room above the ropes, and the guy's gonna come and hit you in the chest. You think you would just bounce off the ropes. To be able to flip backwards out of the rope and do it at the perfect timing when the guy's hitting you, and flip over the ropes onto the arena floor and not seriously injure yourself. That's a move that takes a lot of practice, and a lot of people I know, I've wrestled people that are scared to take that move still. I mean, when I started wrestling at the wrestling school, I used to practice by myself, just standing there practicing trying to get clotheslined over the top because I never wanted it to look weak because I've seen a lot of them look crappy. It's not easy. It's really hard, and people think, oh, he clotheslined him over the top, and a lot of times it's like a hot thing where it's like you're hitting the guy, and then he goes to the ropes, and you knock him out, and then you can pop. But it really is hard, especially to do it without someone getting hurt. That's what the whole thing of this list was: degree of difficulty, moves that are hard to do without people getting hurt, which is all of wrestling. I realize that, but I just felt like these ones are maybe harder than some think or don't get the credit they deserve. Go ahead and try it. Go to a wrestling school and train and try and do these moves. You will have a newfound respect for them. But I want to hear from the viewers of the Willow Show. What moves do you think require quite a great degree of difficulty in pulling off that maybe are just they don't get the respect they deserve, or you just feel they shouldn't even be used anymore because of how dangerous they are? I want to hear from you guys, because as always, on the Willow Show, like or you get a leg drop, comment or you get a clothesline, subscribe or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!